Hey guys, welcome back to you. We're giving you our final pre-draft fantasy football running back rankings. We'll show you how to win your league by winning your draft. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right now.
Hey everyone, I am Justin, that is Kyle, and this is the Fantasy Football Upside.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. Dude, Kyle, draft day is almost here, man.
I mean, for a lot of people, it already happened like this last weekend, right?
For a lot of people, it already happened, but if you're watching this, most likely it hasn't happened yet, so LFG, everyone, let's freaking go. We had a big week last week, dropping our final sleepers for running backs and wide receivers. We had a special episode, Kyle, didn't we? We dedicated that to how deep we went at running back. So definitely check those out in the description below. You won't be disappointed. Yeah. But this week, man, it's even more jam-packed. We're going to get right into it. We got more content with you with our final pre-draft rankings for running back and wide receiver this week. And today, we're going to hit you with those running back 2 rankings for the 2021 season.
Yeah. Hey, listen, a lot of you guys are new around here, right? So make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell. That way, that way you can hang around with us all season long. And, you might have seen a few of the mock drafts that we've been doing lately, and you might have seen some of these other episodes that we've been doing, but we break down each week during the season. We break down 5 episodes. Plus, we're going to be tossing in a live stream on the pre-games for Sunday. That's right. And just as an example about how reliable we are. There we go. We could talk really well, right? We actually last Friday, Justin. I don't know if you know this, but that was our 200th episode.
Oh snap!
Yeah, 200th episode. There you go. So this is 202 actually. Yep. All right. So in honor of that, what should we? We should have some sort of sound drop, right? I mean, there should be something, right?
There should be.
Yeah. Probably this.
Championship.
No. Yep, there we go. All right, so
there it is.
Hey, another thing you could do, we've been dropping requested mock drafts. So if you have a request, feel free to do that. If you've got a question, raise your hand. Shout out.
Help now.
Yep, and we will help out. Help now. We'll help you out. All right, let's dive in headfirst in the shallow end. Let's start talking about some running back rankings here, Justin. All right, so we're doing we're RB2s 24, right? Here we go.
Yep.
Right off the top, we've got Myles Gaskin. All right, he's going 9th pick, 4th round, 21st running back off of the board. He should be an RB1 on his team, guys. But I kind of expect him to split carries between Salvon Ahmed, and there's one other guy I can't remember right off the top of my head over there right now. Malcolm Brown, yeah, that guy. He was on the Rams, I think, for a little while, right? All right, so I think that's Myles Gaskin. He's going to likely be able to put in a solid running back 2 season. He's being drafted appropriately right now in my mind. I think that where he's going off is a pretty good value. So if you find him sitting there and you're the 9th pick of the 4th round, Myles Gaskin would be an appropriate pick there. I don't think you're missing out on a whole heck of a lot. I think you're going to be getting exactly what you should be getting in that point, and that's a reliable running back 2. I wouldn't expect him to make his way back into the running back 1 argument this season, but he quietly gets the job done. He's one of those lunch pail guys, right, Justin? He's just always showing up. He's getting the job done, doing what he's supposed to do.
Maybe nothing flashy about it.
Yeah, nothing flashy. All right, so if Miami pulls the trigger, though, on the Deshaun Watson trade, which they've been balking at the cost, apparently, then I think that Gaskin's value goes up. Now, I don't know. What do you think? You think it goes up?
I could see that. I mean, how couldn't it go up when the offense is going to be that much better? Yeah. I mean, they're still going to throw with Tua, and if they bring in Deshaun Watson, they're going to throw just as much. But that's the thing. Myles Gaskin can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. Yeah. So, all
right, so let's go ahead and hit our running back 23.
Number 23, we have Trey Sermon is going 7th pick in the 7th round, running back 32 off the board. So we're a little high on this 3rd round rookie, and there's a reason for it. I mean, this guy is very patient and explosive behind a zone read offense that is highly enticing everybody. So Shanahan is going to keep both Mostert and Sermon involved with 10 to 12 touches per game. That will each make each player valuable in fantasy football. But here's the thing, everybody. Mostert is injury prone. I mean, the guy does chew up yards when he's on the field. It's just every few weeks he gets banged up and is out for a couple weeks. But we'll have to see.
You can write that down.
You can write that down.
Yeah.
But that is the thing. Trey Sermon did get hurt in college a couple times, but so far so good. He did have a little minor ankle thing, but they kept him out just to be on the safe side of things. But if Mostert does miss time, I mean, I think Sermon is going to be thrust into like a low end running back 1 territory if that happens. He could be one of those league winners for you guys out there, especially at where he's being drafted. Like I said, running back 32 off the board, we have him at 23. I think that's still a good value based on our rankings, just for how good this guy can be behind an offense that is very good at running the ball.
Yeah. I think that I think he's going to be solid this year. I really like. He was one of our sleepers for a while. We were worried that he was going to, people were going to start spotting him, and we were going to lose out on this guy. So that hasn't really happened because people are still hot on Mostert. They still think that he's going to be the bee's knees, I suppose. Right?
That last preseason game, I mean, granted it was preseason, but he was chewing up some yards. I mean, I think he had like 7 carries for 50 some odd yards or something like that. So I mean, he still looks fast.
Yeah,
that's never been the issue. It's just, can he be on the field?
Yeah, that's what really boils down to. All right, RB22, we've got Kareem Hunt. He's going off the board right now. 11th pick of the 4th round, running back 22 coming off the board usually. For us, he's our running back 22 as well. So that kind of makes sense, but I would be careful if you draft Hunt. His current ADP is probably where he should be, or I would take him slightly later if I could, maybe around 3 to 5 more running backs before him. Probably 3 is pretty reasonable. So I would want him as a high-end RB3, want him for my flex position, that sort of thing. I can't imagine taking him in the 4th round and feeling comfortable about that, because by that point, I don't want my 3rd running back. I want my 3rd running back in probably the 5th round. All right, so look, last year here's why my concerns exist. Last year he had the benefit of Nick Chubb missing some time. This raised the season totals for Kareem Hunt. And, he just drove up the statistics, right?
Statistics.
All right. So he, the issue is that it was a tale of 2 seasons for him. The first half of the season was really, really strong. The second half of the season was serviceable, but he was basically a mid-range running back 2 for the second half of the season. He also really wasn't that impressive. It wasn't the same old Kareem Hunt that we had seen in Kansas City and for the first couple of years in Cleveland. So it's not the greatest things. Here's an example. From week 8 on, he had 6 games where he was an RB3 or worse. So that's not exactly what you're looking for. That's that's consistency, but in the wrong direction. 2 of those, he wasn't even an RB4 in 2 of those games. He was that far out of the play. So that's not what you're looking for, especially for a guy who, for all intents and purposes, should be maybe a flex play. And you're starting to see him fall off of the flex play radar, but he's being drafted like a running back 2. So I'm just warning you, if you take him at that spot, at the back of the 4th round, at the back of running back 2 territory, you're probably in the end going to think that if you evaluate your season at the end of the year, you're going to think you overdrafted a little bit.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I mean, Kareem Hunt was the Keenan Allen of 2019, where he made his season in about 3 or 4 games. Yeah,
I mean, I would say he had he had like 2 elite finishes, if I recall, and he had a couple other games that were RB1, RB2, mid RB2. But if you really look at the second half, it was much more dramatic. It was a couple really good games and a ton of really bad games. So yeah. All right, let's see what you got for RB21.
RB21, we have Josh Jacobs. He's going 3rd pick in the 3rd round. Running back 15 off the board is what the ADP is out there right now. And like I said, we have him at running back 21. So we are lower on Jacobs. Main reason is because of Kenyon Drake, everybody. Jacobs is still very talented, but he regressed with efficiency last year. I mean, he got a ton of touches, but every single thing went down. His yards per carry dropped like a whole yard. Each carry, everybody, that's huge. I foresee about a 20% reduction in touches because majority of the pass work is going to go to Kenyon. If he can increase his efficiency, Jacobs, like similar to his rookie year, then he should still provide those running back 2 numbers. Jacobs is a player that I'm willing to draft, but I would love to place him in my flex spot. I mean, I'm hesitant to words. We were just talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm hesitant to count on him week in and week out for my running back 2 spot, mainly for those reasons right there. His drop in efficiency, as well as bringing in a guy, Kenyon Drake, where last year those two tied for, I think, the most running back touches in the red zone. Well, that can't be the case again this year. Something's going to have to change, man.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely correct. He's being drafted as a high-end RB2, borderline RB1 almost, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, really, I think if you're drafting him in mid RB2 range, you're probably drafting him at his ceiling this year. I think that's an overpayment. I think if you get him, you want him as like the 20th running back off the board at worst. Like that's probably the highest I would pay for him.
Yeah. And then if people are wondering, we're actually using like Fantasy Pros ADP, where they actually take quite a few different websites and combine them. So that's why we're getting these numbers. It's not just one website, Joe Schmo making a bunch of mock drafts. So that's why we're using them.
Yeah, it's consensus from like Fantrax, Fantasy Football Calculator, Yahoo, and I don't think that do they have ESPN? I'm not sure. ESPN's really
ESPN?
Yeah, it's
I
really
wouldn't touch
wonky.
that anywhere. I wouldn't touch that one anyways.
Yeah, that little guy. Wouldn't worry about that little guy. All right, here we go. Running back
you got 20. Number 20, man.
Damian Harris. There we go. Yeah. All right. He's going 11th pick, 6th round, 28th running back off the board. This is that's an absolute steal in my mind. But here we go. 2 words. Cam Newton, right? The Vulture King himself. Harris is capped by Cam. And so as long as Cam Newton is there, you're kind of capped on the TDs that you're going to get. I saw some statistic recently where he had like 5, I think, red zone opportunities or 5 like goal to go opportunities, and Cam Newton had like 46. So it's dramatically different. So until I see Mac Jones back there starting, I am really skeptical of Harris right now. I think though that he's really on a good day, no better than a running back 2 as it stands right now. So for me, 28th running back off the board, that's really not a bad value in the end. And if you can take this guy in the back of the 6th round and midway through the season, Cam gets benched because they, realize that Mac Jones probably is their better option in the end, actually, then I think you might realize Harris's potential and, it'll be good. I think you really need Cam to get benched for that to happen. Even with Sony Michel now gone, I think that it's just the way it is. The price isn't terrible right now, but I don't know that I'd ultimately reach for this guy. And look, you're probably going to have, this is a consistent flex play, but I remember last year, or was it maybe it was last year, he'd get 100 plus yards in a game and no touchdowns. Like that was just regular for him. I think he ended up with just a couple TDs last year and that was it. So yeah.
What's a fantasy football Twitter world favorite word? Is it positive regression or something like that?
Positive regression. Jeez. Yeah.
Hopefully he'll
it's
have an increase.
Progression.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But hopefully, the touchdowns will come. And I've seen some of Mac Jones so far this preseason. Granted, it's preseason, but dude looks good for a rookie, man. So I don't think it'll be too long before he's taking over.
Well, and something else
just take a couple bonehead.
Something else that's a little bit eating into his value right now is Ramondre Stevenson showing up. So
oh yeah.
All
Big
right.
fan here. Big fan of that guy.
Running back 19.
Mike Davis, everybody. Quad himself. He's going running back 23, 8th pick in the 5th round. This guy's in line for a considerable workload. Yeah, one thing that I always like to see when it comes to preseason games for running backs is if I don't see him at all. That's a good thing. That means he is the clear-cut number 1. They don't want to put him on the field in case he gets hurt. So, Ravens, take note. Good Lord. But
Ravens and who else? The Chargers?
Jags.
Jags.
Yeah. But that was, But I mean, that was even worse with J.K. Dobbins. But anyways, Mike Davis last year was the 18th best running back, and he thought he was going to be a backup going into that season. But I think he's going to be ready to go this year, knowing it is his backfield with the Falcons. His new head coach, Arthur Smith, is bringing a very much a run-heavy offense that saw Derrick Henry become one of the best running backs in the league. And no, before you say something, I'm not saying this guy is King Henry. That's not the case. I'm just saying this is a very run-friendly offense. Mike Davis could be getting 250 plus touches. I mean, that's a definite possibility for Mike. And with the solid running play caller in Coach Smith, Davis should be an excellent running back 2 this season. I am getting Mike Davis in as many leads as possible.
Yeah.
Volume is king in a NFL world where running back volume doesn't really happen as much as what it used to. I think this guy is still going to get that volume that you're used to seeing.
Yeah, you're looking at an offense that over the last few years, we broke this down. The last few years with Julio, the offense was seeing top 5, top 3, number 1 passing opportunities.
Yeah.
This is going to be the opposite end of the spectrum. It's just going to be. And you can't ignore the volume, even if the O-line is terrible. There are plenty of teams where that's not a problem in the end.
David Montgomery.
Just keep feeding the ball to the guy, right? All right, here we go. Running back, 18. We have Miles Sanders. He's going 10th pick, 3rd round, 18th running back off the board, right where we've got him, right? All right, so the path seems clear finally for Sanders to get the carries that the Sanders Truthers have been clamoring for his entire career. Is this going to be a breakout year as a result? Unlikely. That's just my opinion. I just don't see it really happening because I think that this offense is going to have some trouble here and there. In addition to that, you've now got the question about Hurts, right? But Hurts is an issue for Sanders because he's going to run the ball a little bit more often rather than dump it down to Sanders, who might be the check down back. So I think that he's going to be a serviceable running back 2 with the upside for a few elite finishes for you this week, meaning top 6 in the position on any particular week. However, I think that he's merely been mediocre when he's been given the opportunity to shine, which is unfortunate. I think that he had a lot of talent, and I think that he's probably nearing the zenith of what his potential is ultimately going to be able to accomplish. You add in this running QB who isn't as accurate as they had hoped he would be. Cue the Minshew edition, right? That's why they're adding Gardner Minshew. And you have a recipe for another like Damian Harris type of situation at best, really. So I'd only draft him if I feel like the price is absolutely right, meaning I want a savings on this guy. I don't want to draft him at his current ADP. If he's going off the board at 18th and I'm sitting, or at 18th running back, and I'm sitting there and looking at how many running backs come off the board, I'm at the back of the 3rd round, probably hoping to let him fall and find him at the top of the 4th, maybe. But that's about where I might take him. Just because I want the upside that I'm getting by having the draft savings on him.
No, I get you, man. Miles Sanders had a case of the dropsies last year, and sounds like that's what's happening again this year at training camp. I'm just hoping, how everybody likes that change of scenery. Well, change of coach. Maybe that's what's going to happen. With Nick Sirianni coming in from the Indianapolis Colts, they run a very much a run, friendly type offense. Yeah. Getting guys open, but.
But this offensive line didn't grade very well. Just all kinds of problems. Yeah.
No, I hear you, man. That's why it's a touchy one, man.
All right, running back 17.
Running back 17, Chris Carson, 7th pick in the 3rd round. Running back 17 off the board. Just 1 pick ahead when it comes to running back 17 to 18. How much more comfortable would you feel, Kyle, if you got Chris Carson compared to Miles Sanders?
Oh, yeah. A lot better. I like that offense a lot better for success.
A lot better. And I feel like for Carson, this is he's coming into the season healthy for the first time in a long time. It always felt like he's always dealing with something going into the season, but there's been nothing out there saying anything that's hampering him. And that means a lot of potential. So, when the guy is on the field, he produces like a running back 1. You're just getting this discount in the 7th pick in the 3rd round because of his injury past. Mm-hmm. So I look at the guy, the way he plays, he's physical, but I also look at the fact that his catches per game have been on the rise the last 3 years. So there's no real competition behind him. So that means he can stay on the field all 3 downs. I don't know if Rashad Penny is going to make the roster, or is he trade bait for a team like the Ravens? They do say good things about Rashad Penny going into this year, but they declined his 5th-year option. They didn't like him that much. But, Chris Carson is definitely one of those players. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL just because of how he plays. He's very physical, but that is also why he gets banged up frequently. So it's kind of a touchy subject. But he may miss a game or 2. But at this ADP, I still think you're going to get stellar value. Like I said, when he's on the field, he's going to give you running back 1 numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, people are drafting Dalvin Cook 2nd pick overall, and you can't bet on him for more than 13 games in a season. Like you just can't.
It's just you're gonna factor in at least 2 or 3 missed games.
Yeah,
especially with the 17 game season.
Yeah, and I think that this offense is more likely to provide like a lot more opportunities in the passing game for the running back finally than have traditionally been going his way. So I think that this is just an upward trajectory for him. I think it's a great pick. All right, running back 16, we've got Najee Harris. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I haven't really.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. He's going off the board at the first pick of the second round, believe it or not. He's running back 10 off the board. We've got him at 16. And look, unfortunately, he's being drafted right at about the appropriate value, maybe early, right? So I would like to get this guy on my team. I think that would be great. But the problem is that you can't really get him at the right value. So look, if you can get him in the second round, you have a guy who's got a strong potential to be a top 10 running back this season. If you draft a wide receiver in the second half of the first round, Najee Harris is a guy that I think you should probably target in the top half of the second round, and then you'd be stealing from your league. I mean, if you're in a league full of tacos, then that's possible. Yeah, it is entirely possible.
You get Devontae or something like that in the first, and then come around and get Najee. Dang.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going in a 12-team league and you're 9th or 10th pick, you grab one of the top wide receivers, either Tyreek or Devontae, and then you get Najee Harris in the second round. You've done pretty well actually there. So here's my concern though, right? Is that the O-line really just hasn't been playing too great. Najee Harris had a pretty good second preseason game, and it was all based on like 1 or 2 plays, and it was him getting around the edge of the wide receivers on the outside, not the offensive line. The line is just not that great. You have an upside though in Big Ben breaking down at some point during the course of the season. He's just going to stop throwing the ball past 5 yards. And that's just the way it's going to go. Well, hey, you got a lot of check down opportunities there. You got a lot more rushing opportunities. As the season goes along, you might see his carry total go up as well as goal line opportunities because they just don't want to force the throw in there with Big Ben, possibly. So I think there's a lot of different upsides to Najee Harris. Usually there's one running back that fits into the top 10 that is a rookie. Every single season. And I think that it's going to be Najee Harris. I see no reason why it might be someone else. I don't know. I think it's going to be him. So
yeah, I'm looking at a guy that's probably going to get 275 touches easily.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's why he's being drafted where he is being drafted.
Yeah. Just volume is king. Offense should be okay, like you said.
Yeah.
All
right, running back 15.
I have Joe Mixon here. He's going 8th pick in the second round, running back 13 off the board. Let's just, clear the air here. There's a lot of sour tastes in the mouths of what happened last year. I mean, that's still relevant.
Every year, not last year.
Well, I mean, I like to say last year because of what happened. I mean, when he got hurt, he should have been on the IR. I mean, you were calling it out where based off this injury, it was like the Cam Newton injury. He should have went on IR instead of just this, oh, he might be back in a couple weeks, might be back in 3 weeks. No, we don't want to put him on IR. That was just terrible for him probably, and then also us fantasy football players. So I mean, that's what's really important here.
If you were listening to us, you went out there and you got Giovanni Bernard.
Yep, like you did.
Yeah. But hey, he saved my butt, man.
Exactly. But Joe Mixon is one of those guys when he's on the field. I mean, he's one of the last heavy workload type running backs. So the offense should be better with Burrow and Mixon back. There's really no competition behind Mixon because your aforementioned Giovanni Bernard's no longer there. So no one's going to be stealing work from him. And I think he is that. Okay, this is going to hurt you, Kyle. I think he is one of the most talented running backs in the league. But here comes the bad. He's playing behind that offensive line that is just hot garbage. Oh, yeah. And I think that's putting it lightly. Bengals are going to bingle. I mean, they could have fixed some of these issues by, drafting Penei Sewell, but instead they drafted Jamar Chase. So in my mind, though, for Joe Mixon, I think he's going to see, less 8 men in the box, compared to previous seasons. And hopefully he doesn't get hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But I still like him as a running back, too, even with those, warts, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe
you're not a big Joe Mixon fan. I get it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he could do okay.
The offense than
him. I don't think it's a terrible, I don't think it's terrible that he's going off the board at the 13th running back off the board. I think that's okay. I think that's a proper discount. But man, people are banking on him being a running back one. He's never done it, to my knowledge.
That's what you don't.
So
you don't count on him being a running back one.
No,
that's the thing. Don't
be
that
if you're
guy
taking
where
him
you have
8 pick second round, you might be counting on it. I don't know. You might be. I mean, that's some people who might have been taking
for some reason you didn't get like
receiver.
a top 6 or 7 running back in the first round or something like that.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
So I've got concerns there. All right, running back 14, we've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's going 10th pick, second round, running back 14 off the board. So, hey, guess what? Right where we've got him. This is a player, in my opinion, who could win you your season this year. All right, he could also absolutely blow it for you. And it won't be his fault. Why wouldn't it be his fault? Because his coach is Andy Reid, right? So, look, if they just decide they're going to throw the ball 40 times a game, like last year, then there's just no chance that Helaire is going to pay off at his current draft price. It's just no chance. But if they decide to go back to the offense that they had when they had Kareem Hunt, then it would probably even out a little bit at least, and he's going to get higher opportunities. I think you might see a breakout from this guy. Second-year running back. We always talk about second-year wide receivers, but second-year running back in a system that could be shifting toward the run. And guess what? The preseason's kind of indicating that. I think he's got elite running back one upside if the Chiefs back off of the pass a little bit this year. They seemingly completely reworked this line. I think that they actually have all new starters in each of the positions along their line, along the
you may be
entire
right.
front. And so, look, the Eclair could emerge in my mind as a league winner. If they use him like they used Kareem Hunt, man, you are, you're going to be in for it there. I have a note here. I don't know if I should say it, but if they use
probably
him,
not. I see your note. No, we're good. We'll just keep it moving.
We'll just keep it moving. Look, this is a great second round target. If the
family show, everybody.
Yeah, family show. If the wide receiver value has, or the depth at wide receiver has fallen off in the second round, you're at the back of the second round, and the wide receiver value has fallen off the face of the earth there at that point, then my goodness, you could do a darn sight worse than Clyde Edwards-Helaire, especially if they use him like they were trying to use the running game in the preseason.
Well, I mean, heck, week 1 last year.
Yep.
If they use him just the way they did week 1 last year, and he stays healthy and doesn't get nicked up,
that's the problem.
Look out. I mean, that's the thing is, I think that was the thing that finally came out after the season was, he got hurt within the first 2 weeks and he played through it all season. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah.
Good Lord. He still put up decent numbers.
Yeah. He did. I think that
I like him this year, man.
Yeah, he's a good guy. There's several like second round values who have so much upside this year that it's awesome. It's really awesome. Like you have the chance there is decent depth there if you're making the right moves, but there's only like 3 or 4 guys that are going to be available in that second round, really. But they all have value that could bring them into running back one territory. Yep. And there's a lot of guys being drafted as running back ones who are going to back out of that. I think so.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go.
Every year, man.
Running back 13, who you got?
One of our favorites, James Robinson, 7th pick in the 4th round, running back 20 off the board. That running back 20 off the board, that's going to be changing closer and closer to some of these actual drafts. Because, I mean, everybody's heard it by now. You never want to see an injury to a young running back, but, that's what happened to Travis Etienne this preseason. So, the injury to Etienne opens up James Robinson to a similar path of touches compared to last year, where he had 289. Wow. You don't really hear that too often, but that was because he plays for the Jags. But, I think this offense should be much better with Urban Meyer taking over as the head coach. I think they're going to try to open things up. That means efficiency should be better for Robinson with a few more open lanes and the ability to maybe have some more open space in the passing game. So in my mind,
he was awesome in the passing game last year.
He really was.
He was a revelation.
And that's the thing with what they had at quarterback. Gardner Minshew is fine. We like Gardner Minshew, but
he's
the
very
offense,
efficient. Minshew is efficient. He doesn't make mistakes. That's the benefit.
He doesn't make mistakes, and that's what should happen this year with Trevor Lawrence. Even though he's a rookie, I don't think he's the type of rookie that makes a lot of mistakes. But my downfall, I think for James Robinson, which is a very small one, is all of a sudden there's quite a few mouths to feed that are some high-end talented players in a DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, Marvin Jones. You might even see Shenault in the backfield here or there as well, or a lot of jet sweeps for him. But however, Robinson, I think is one of those last true bell cow backs this year. This might be the year that you're really going to be able to use him because Travis Etienne will come back next year. So, jump up and down if you are able to get this guy as your running back too. But because if he has a chance to repeats or beats his running back 7 finish last year, and you're still going to be able to get him at discount, even though we say running back 13, which is where we feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
But if he's still going in the 4th round or even in the 3rd round, I would still feel comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, there were some formats, I think, that he finished as a running back 5.
Yeah. So. Some form. Yep. This was just straight standard. I mean, running back 7, undrafted free agent. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's awesome. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our running back 2 rankings for the preseason, right? And so we're going to talk to you about our running back 1s in the next episode. So make sure that you have hit that subscribe button if you like this sort of stuff and you want to hang around throughout the season. We're going to break down every matchup as we go along so we can help you figure out who you should sit and who you should start. Guys, you might want to consider picking up off the waiver wire and stuff. So make sure you're subscribed. All right, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
See you.